So we're coming up to a new year, and a lot of people are probably going to make a lot of New Year's resolutions that are health oriented, right? Especially given what we've gone through over the last 2 years. I want to point out something. A lot of resolutions center around not doing something, right? People want to quit smoking, quit drinking, lose weight, quit eating something, cut back on something. And I want to point out that it's human nature to not want to lose something. And a better idea is to find joy in life outside of whatever that is, right? And this is why I haven't talked to my mom in a few months now, because the last couple of times we spoke, she really upset me over something. She's very upset that I have been doing intermittent fasting and that I lost a lot of weight. I'm in a very normal weight range, actually. It's just that I lost a lot of weight from being overweight, and that gets her upset. And I don't know if it's because of envy or something. She used to be overweight. I don't think she is anymore. But she refuses to believe there is joy outside of food. Every time we talk about it, she's always talking about things that I'm missing out on. She'll talk about a very delicious meal she had this past week and how I'm missing out on it. And she doesn't acknowledge that there is joy outside of food, right? I've been writing the #1 AI for the game of Backgammon, for the game of Shogi. I scored a 242 in bowling a few months ago. I average 160 now, although I hurt my hand recently. I haven't been able to go bowling. She doesn't acknowledge the trips to Wallace, to Phoenix, where I got really accepted for who I was. One of my favorite memories this past year was when I was in Phoenix, and I went to a club to play board games, right, including backgammon, but I also learned a number of other games. Right now, as we speak, I'm programming an AI for the game of Seven Wonders Duel, and one memory that gave me tears in my eyes was that I went to the board game club, and it was held in a restaurant, an IHOP restaurant, and I had to tell the other people who they were eating while playing to please keep their food to their area. I react badly to milk, and there's a lot of finger foods over in IHOP, and I said, well, I'll come back to you when you guys are done eating, because I wanted to take a walk in the Mesa area where it was. And the other people were, no, that's okay. And two people went over to wash their hands, and they started using silverware to eat. And I just remember that back home in Seattle, nobody would accommodate me like that, right? At best, I'd go out, wait for them to be done, I can come back, or at worst, they'll say obscenities about my allergies, or you get the idea, right? Although it might be the sign of the times that we're in, right? People are more conscious about their health. Back in 2019, it might have played out a little bit differently when health wasn't on everybody's radar, right? But it could have been that. Now, the same thing with smoking, right? I had a coworker who was in the process of quitting smoking. I hate to say trying to quit smoking. He told me he was trying to quit smoking. I always made sure when I saw him and introduced him or talked to him that he was in the process of quitting smoking, right? But he always said trying to quit smoking. We got into a huge disagreement over those terminologies. And but he always emphasized on how much he was sacrificing his smoking right now, right? He never seemed to look at all the other joys that he was enjoying, including probably that he smelled a whole lot better. He was making a lot of new connections. He wasn't going out to freeze himself when he wanted to go out for a cigarette. He wasn't wasting all this money on cigarettes. I don't know what he used the money he saved on not smoking for, right? But had he put it that way, right? Let's go enjoy some other things besides smoking. Let's enjoy staying inside when it's 20 below outside, right? It could have turned out very differently. Anyway, make a resolution to enjoy the joys of life outside of the vices, to normalize your relationship with food. Have fun.